G'day mates, Keg11 here and welcome to the 1998 Austrian Grand Prix from the A1 ring just outside of Spielberg. Sorry if I said that incorrectly. I'm coming into this race in second in the championship and hoping for a bit of success here in Austria because it's a track that I enjoy driving. Brilliant scenery, nice design of the track, but last year didn't have very good success. I qualified 13th for an 11th place finish, so it was a bit of a disappointing, not what I expected, but considering how I'm going this season, I'm hoping to get a better result here in Austria. Now, in the real life, it was actually a bit of a unusual Austrian Grand Prix, mainly because that it was raining during qualifying, so you saw quite a unusual grid. Giancarlo Fisichella, my teammate, scores podium on this race, and he's joined on the grid by Jean Alesi in the Sauber Petronas, so a very unusual front row, but Mika Häkkinen and Michael Schumacher weren't too far behind, both on the second row of the grid. And looking at the rest of the grid, it looked quite relatively normal, maybe a few deviations here and there. What happened next during the race was a bit even more unusual. There were two accidents on the first couple of corners. The first corner, several cars were crashed. But in the second corner, both arrows came together, which saw David Coulthard, who had qualified in 14th, get hit and ending up a lap down on the rest of the grid. As the race went on, a couple of other drivers retired, including Jean Alesi and Fisichella. They both crashed on corner 2, quite embarrassingly. But eventually, Mika Häkkinen went through for a very easy race to get first place, followed by Coulthard, who did a good job in coming up from a lap down at the start of the race, and Michael Schumacher in third, with assistance from Eddie Irvine, who finished fourth. Well, this race is going to be an all-day race, so I don't think we're going to see too many weird results here today. Speaking of which, looking at our driver standings now, Mika Häkkinen is still in the lead on 60 points, but my win in Britain has moved me up to 14 points, so up 4 points onto Häkkinen, but still it is quite a bit of a gap, so unless Häkkinen does not score in the next couple of races, I will need to keep this rate up to catch him by towards the end of the year. Falling behind in third place, we got David Coulthard on 42 points, just 4 points behind me, after scoring just 1 point in Britain. So that's allowed me to catch up. Similar deal to Michael Schumacher. He failed to score in Britain, so he's still on 41 points. So the results of Great Britain really pushed me back up to title contention because I was, I think, 4th place before. Schumacher's teammate, Eddie Irvine, is in 5th place still, 18 points. Scored 4 points last race, so he's moved up the grid a bit. And rounding out the point scoring positions, we've got Untitled Chapter on 13 points, keeping up a really good, consistent point scoring run going on. Jean Alesi scoring 4th place in the last round, so he's up to 10 points, just 3 points behind Frentzen. And then it's Damon Hill in the Jordan and Jarno Trulli in the Prost. So looking at the Constructors' Championship now, McLaren and Mercedes are still well in the lead on 102 points, just 43 points ahead of Ferrari, so I think we're going to have to give up a bit on the Constructors' Championship because McLaren and Mercedes have got that all wrapped up so far. We just have to wait for a few more races for it to be official, unless they completely flunk, of course. Benetton Playlife are in 3rd place, just on 46 points, 56 behind McLaren, but only 13 points behind Ferrari. So if both drivers go well in the next few races, they should pass Ferrari. 4th place, Williams Mechachrome on 13 points, still keeping Sauber at bay from 4th place in the championship. Sauber's on 10 points. Both teams only got one of their drivers scoring points for them. And then perennially in 6th and 7th place respectively, we've got Jordan on 3 and Prost on 1. So therefore, looking at where everyone will be starting for this race, Count Levin is on pole by 0.28 seconds ahead of Eddie Irvine. So Benetton, Ferrari front row, good for all the Italians out there. On the second row of the grid, we got Untitled Chapter, really good qualifying position, and Giancarlo Fisichella, very good. So what was I saying about Benetton not scoring any more points because of Fisichella not finishing? Benetton are in a good position to get a lot of points this round. Let's just hope they capitalize on this great opportunity they got themselves in today. Behind Fisichella, we got Jean Alesi and Esteban Tuero. The best qualifying result for the Argentinian Minardi driver. So there's a lot of pressure onto Tuero to really perform during the race, but considering the performance of other cars that haven't qualified so highly, I have doubts, but never say never, as they say. Following behind him, we got David Coulthard and Mika Häkkinen, 3 seconds down, so not good qualifying results for either McLaren nor to Michael Schumacher. Qualifying 9th, so it's one of his worst qualifying positions of the year, just 3.339 seconds behind Levin. And rounding out the top 10 on the grid, Damon Hill, a further second behind Schumacher, qualifying 1:13.635. But looking at the rest of the grid, it looks quite normal. Ralf Schumacher, 12th place. Rubens Barrichello, 13th place. Jacques Villeneuve still having a very poor season, qualifying 15th place. And rounding out the qualifying positions, Shinji Nakano, 19th place, nowhere near as performed well as his Argentinian teammate. And the last 3 positions are Tyrrell and Olivier Panis. So a very unusual grid to start the Austrian Grand Prix, but I'm curious to see how this race goes. Maybe it will be as weird as in real life. Okay, here we go. The starting grid for the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm in the lead. The lights are about to go out now. And as I pull away, I lose a little position, but now I'm in the lead. Oh, one of the Ferraris wants to get a look on me, and he's overtaken me. I think that's probably Michael Schumacher as we're coming to Castro for the first time. And the Ferrari is pulling ahead of me as we're coming on the backtrack. Got another one behind me. And I'm in the Ferrari sandwich. This is not a good position to be in. As we're coming to the Ramis hairpin now, this is a really, really tight hairpin. Oh, it's going to be a tight one. No, actually it's a bit wider than I've seen on most games, so that's a relief. Come along the back straight now. And the Ferrari is disappearing off into the distance. Thinking about it, I think it may be Eddie Irvine. I apologize about Schumacher before. We're coming to Gersa now. Not too bad there. Kimi in good position now, coming to corner 6, the Power Horse corner. Now this is a tricky corner, particularly in F1 Career Challenge. I had a lot of trouble onto it. And now we come to corner 7, the Niki Lauda curve. This track is named after a couple of Formula 1 drivers. Well, at this point, there's only 2 Austrian world champions, Niki Lauda and the person who's named to this corner, Jochen Rindt. This is a very fast right-hander, going to 4th gear here, not too bad. Now I'm coming to the very, very tight A1 corner. Not too bad, and I've got a little bit of distance onto Eddie Irvine. We've come across the finish line to complete our first lap. What is the position so far? Irvine, Levin, Frentzen, Fisichella, Alesi, and Ralf Schumacher. So apologies before that the car behind me was a Ferrari. It's actually Heinz-Harald Frenzen's Williams. Both cars have the same colours because of a particular Australian tobacco company that's on the side of the Williams cars this year. And as we're going past Ramis again, Irvine has brought a really big distance onto me as I slow down a lot, and Irvine's just 2.6 seconds ahead of me. Frentzen is probably a less distance behind me. Me catching Irvine is becoming less and less of a possibility. But not to worry, I got more fish to fry. I got Frentzen behind me, just want to make a move. And behind him, I assume we got Jean Alesi. Looks like that good qualifying position for Frentzen did pay dividends. So it could be the possibility for Frentzen to score his first podium since Brazil's this year, or I won at. If that's the case, it'll be very, very good for the Williams team, maybe catching up on Benetton. Only if Villeneuve could perform this year, which he hasn't been. We come across onto the pit straight now to complete our 3rd lap. In the lead, Eddie Irvine, followed by Kent Levin and Hightail Frentzen. Giancarlo Fisichella is doing a really good job in 4th place, followed by Jean Alesi and Ralf Schumacher in the Jordan. As I go off very wide, coming to Castro, that's twice in a row I've gone off at Castro. I need to work out my driving there, otherwise I'm going to lose a lot of my position to Frentzen very quickly. But looking behind him, it doesn't sound like Frentzen is anywhere to be seen, as I'm a bit loose coming on the back straight. as I'm 2.32 seconds behind Irvine. Yeah, there's a few. Austria is a track that I like to drive on, but as far as success and performance is not very good. Castrol is quite more tight than it'll look, so you have to be really particular on your speed there. Ramus, of course, it's a hairpin, but if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be too bad. Going along the back straight at the top of the hill, it has a bit of a decline there, which makes your car bottom out and slide all over the place, so that is quite tricky. Gosser can be tricky at times if you go a bit too fast. Power Horse, oh, I've had a lot of trouble on that. I always go wide there. And then the Jochen Rindt A1 complex at the end of the track. So it's a really technical track, so you need practice here. As Jan Alesi has overtaken Giancarlo Fisichella to take 4th place, and Mika Häkkinen has overtaken Ralf Schumacher to take 6th place. So Häkkinen is going to try and keep up the point scoring positions for McLaren. The last time McLaren has gone through a race without scoring a point. Not this year. So it has to be last year, after David Coulthard only scored 1 point in Australia and fails to score for the rest of the year. So it was a very bad year for McLaren. Not like this year. McLaren are dominating as far as constructors go. Really good performances by both Häkkinen and Coulthard has seen that McLaren possibly getting their first Constructors' Championship in 7 years. But looking back to my attempts to catch Irvine, it's been quite constant. No, something must have happened in the last couple of corners as Irvine has doubled his distance behind me. Looking at the lap count for laps, I need to really pull something for the next 2 laps if I ever want to catch Irvine and take the win. But even still, even if I don't pass him, this will be my best position. Don't forget, I only finished 11th last year, and I'm going to potentially finish 2nd here. Ralf Schumacher has pulled ahead of Mika Häkkinen. Häkkinen's fallen back. So, but if things go well this year, we should see, this race, we should see Jordan's first point in San Marino, and Sauber and Williams are continuing a consistent point scoring positions. But most notably is Giancarlo Fisichella will be scoring his first points of the season, which will give Benetton good support. Myself and Fishy will give Benetton really good support in to try and catch Ferrari in Constructors' Championship. Oh, I'm a little bit loose coming out of Power Horse. As I said, that corner is always giving me trouble. But looking back there, I thought I was catching up on Irvine, but after that little shambles there, my chances of catching Irvine are next to nil. So Irvine looks set to get his first race win of the year and his first race win since the European Grand Prix of last year. As I come across the finish line, sparks are blazing. Coming to the final lap, the positions are Irvine 11, Frentzen, Alesi, Giancarlo Fisichella, and Ralf Schumacher. So the McLarens, well, McLaren and Michael Schumacher, as reflective of their qualifying position, fallen back. But also Esteban Tuero, if you recall, I think he qualified in 5th position, so he's fallen back a lot. But then again, he's driving a Minardi in comparison to the much more powerful Benettons, Saubers, and Ferraris. Or Williams, should I say. Very slow coming out of Gosser there. So, yep. I think Irvine has pretty much got this in the bag. He's done a really good job. He's pretty much led from start to finish. So I only assume that he's got the pole position. So if he was to score pole on this race, he would have got himself a Grand Slam, which not a lot of drivers have the benefit of doing. I don't think I've done it at this point. I have to look past my past videos, but I think I've let the lead slip once or twice occasions. But yeah, as we pass A1 to go along the pit straight for the final time, Eddie Irvine wins his 2nd race ever in Formula 1, and I finish in 2nd place. Overall, a really good race for me, and keeps up a very consistent season for me, despite not finishing in San Marino or Magny-Cours. But also, thinking about it, good positions by both Heinz-Harald Frentzen, his 2nd podium of the year, and also my teammate Giancarlo Fisichella scoring his first points for the season, which will enhance whatever points I got. So I think he's finished 5th, so we should get 8 points for Benetton in this. Looking at the results of the race, Eddie Irvine wins his 2nd win for Ferrari, and I'm in 2nd place, 2 seconds behind Irvine. Heinz-Harald Frentzen, a further 2 seconds behind me, finishes in 3rd place. So congratulations to all 3 drivers who finish in the top 3. And rounding out the point scoring position, Jean Alesi does a good job to score 3 points for Sauber. That's going to help them a lot. And Giancarlo Fisichella, his first points of the season, giving Benetton a further 2 points as well as 6 points that I scored for scoring second. And rounding out the top 6, Ralf Schumacher scores Jordan's first points in San Marino. So that's going to supplement their point scoring positions. As we look at the Drivers' Championship now, Mika Häkkinen is still in the lead on 60 points, but he is 8 points ahead of myself. Me scoring 6 points and Häkkinen failing to score any points has really caught me up to the fin now. So it'll be only a matter of races to see if I do pass Häkkinen or we have a big championship battle on our hands. A little bit behind myself, we got David Coulthard failing to score again on 42 points, just 1 point ahead of Michael Schumacher. So their results have not changed there. Nord 2 has difference between Eddie Irvine and Heinz-Harald Frentzen. Irvine's still on 6 points, but his win brings him up to 28 points, 24 points behind Mika Häkkinen. And Frentzen up to 17 points, just 43 points behind Häkkinen, but 11 points behind Irvine. And a further 4 points ahead of Jean Alesi. Jean Alesi is quite happy in 8th position at the moment. And then rounding out the point scoring position, we got Giancarlo Fisichella scoring 2 points, so he's jumped up to 9th place in the championship. And then we got Ralf Schumacher and Jarno Trulli. Oh yeah, Ralf Schumacher also joins the point scoring grid after his 1 point today. And now looking at the Constructors' Championship, McLaren Mercedes still on 102 points, but they're still quite comfortably in first place, just 33 points ahead of Ferrari. Ferrari up to 69 points, so they've pulled a good gap ahead of Benetton. Benetton are on 54 points, just 48 points behind McLaren, but only 15 points behind Ferrari. So Ferrari, yes, have pulled just 2 points ahead of Benetton. So there's still a bit of a battle going on there. I'll be curious to see how it goes in the next couple of races. Williams Mechachrome is still in 4th place on 17 points, and Sauber Petronas is still on 13 now. Jordan has finally scored a point, now on 4 points, so they pulled 3 points ahead of Prost, making it evident that yes, they're at the back of the point scoring positions, but not that far back. Prost is still having trouble trying to get everything sorted out, still yet to score since Australia. So there we have it for the Austrian Grand Prix. Nowhere near as crazy as it was in real life, but very, very successful for all those that scored points. So I think this is a very, very favorited win amongst the F1 pack. I hope you all enjoyed this race, and I'll see you guys in the next race in Germany.